So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the season finale of the Unscripted 101 podcast for season two. It's been a very up and down season in terms of me being consistent. I've been better this season. As usual, I stick to my 10 to 15 minute podcast. I don't try to bore everybody out. Sometimes you listen to a podcast and it just drags on unless there's a guest or something special. But it's the season finale, and I'll be back around late September, early October. Actually, mid-September, I'll be back with season three. New intro, new stuff. I have a whole bunch of new stuff that I want to set up, and show out. So I'm definitely going to do that for season three. And one of the things I love about this podcast, it's all done by me. From the podcast itself, creative art work, all that stuff. Anything that has to do with Unscripted, presented by, of course, Beat Back Music. All that stuff is all done by me. There's nobody else that's a part of this. It's all done by me. And I think that's the most important part, that you have to believe in the craft that you're producing, because sometimes when you surround yourself with a group of people, and there are some people who do podcasts who are very lucky and privileged to have some great people around them to help them put together some great work. But fortunately, I'm doing this all by myself, and it's okay. That's how I want it. I'm going to rise on my own. I'm going to fall on my own. And I've had some great rises and I've had some great falls, and I thank anybody that's been listening and supporting this podcast throughout the first two seasons. But what I'm going to start off with is, of course, the Olympics has been very intriguing with what has happened. Of course, everybody saw the 100-meter finals, which was so tight. Fastest 100-meter race ever. I know some people don't want to believe that, but when all 8 participants finish under 10 seconds, folks, that speaks volumes on how fast this race has become. And it's only going to get faster. So congratulations to all 8 participants in the finals. That was crazy. At the beginning, I thought Kasheen Thompson won. I was a little biased, of course. But after watching the race again and watching how Noah Lyles finished that race, he did exactly what he was taught to do. He did exactly what every runner is supposed to do. So congratulations to him. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the 200. But congratulations to all the athletes in the Olympics. Training is not an easy thing, whether you're just going to the gym to train for something basic or whatever it is. Training is hard, and I've trained before. And for sports things, touch football. It's not touch football. Yeah, touch football, flag football. And it's not easy, especially when you have those off days, those mindset days where you're just like, nah, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? So congratulations to all the Olympic athletes. And I'm going to be a little biased because I am going to be biased. Shout out to all the black athletes. There's always some scrutiny. There's always some hate towards them. Let's just be honest. You hear it on social media. You hear it through people across the world. All the black athletes out there who have come out and showed out for this 2024 Olympics in Paris. Congratulations. A couple of unfortunate incidents with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Sharika Jackson, not Thompson. I don't know why I keep calling her Thompson. My gosh. Sharika Jackson. Those two are basically done for whatever reason. Some people say injury, but I'm not a fool. Most people are not. There's a lot of conspiracies going on with the Olympics, and it sucks because you want to see those two compete. If you want to beat the best, this is the stage right here. This is the grand stage. This is the WrestleMania of track and field. This is the Super Bowl of track and field. This is the World Cup of track and field. This is where you want the best of the best to compete for gold, silver, bronze, whatever. Some people are competing because, you know, they finally gotten through adversity just to be at the Olympics. So again, you know, it's crazy what's happened so far, but again, congratulations to all the athletes, but especially to the black athletes out there. You hate me for saying it, I don't care, I'm going to say it. There's a lot of scrutiny towards some of the black athletes in the Olympics. If you pay attention to what's going on and read some of the articles there is, I don't want people to come out and say, oh, it's a black thing, oh, it's a race thing. It is. Until certain white people understand that we should be treated and respected the same, it will always be a race issue. But again, congratulations to all the athletes. Congratulations to the athletes who respect and love each other for these Olympics. There are some athletes that are very genuine, but then there are some that are, you know, they come here with a little hate. If you pay attention to what's going on in the Olympics, you'll see that. But nevertheless, that's what's happening. Also, it was interesting. I watched Team Canada play today against France. I had a little sneak peek. You know, you kind of watch it throughout the concourses of downtown Toronto and throughout the city. And you kind of check your alerts on your phone, and they couldn't make any shots. I mean, yes, the length of France was a deterrent, but they couldn't make any shots. It was just a bad day. Bad game, bad day. And unfortunately, Team Canada is eliminated from the Olympics when it comes to men's basketball. And, you know, we have France advancing, the U.S. advanced comfortably, Germany advanced, and Serbia advanced. So one of those four is going to be your Olympic champions. And if you're smart enough, and I know most of you are, we all know who's going to win, and they should win because so far they've been playing smart basketball. Everybody's been criticizing Steve Kerr for his substitutions and whatever he's done, but he's the head coach. He does whatever he wants. If you want his job, then go out and contest for it. So that's a whole nother story for another day. Also, I had somebody make a comment on social media about the 3-on-3 basketball in Canada's play in the tournament. I felt that they could have played better. That game against the U.S., they could have won that game. I felt like there was some plays and some very stupid turnovers. They took some shots that were very questionable in that bronze medal game. And I also feel that wasn't the team that should have been picked. I'll just be honest with you, through a lot of politics and a lot of, again, controversy. Call me controversy for this podcast that I'm doing tonight. I don't care. I just feel like they could have made a better selection out of the four players that they picked. I'm not going to say who, but I will say two of them should not be on the team. So the other two, absolutely. That's a whole conversation for a different day. They got fourth place. The U.S. did exactly what they were supposed to do. Yes, they were down at certain points of the game, but they knew exactly what they had to do. They were very methodical in the end, and they made the Canadians basically just kind of take the bait. If you watch the game and understand the game and critique it in a certain way, the U.S. did exactly what I thought they were going to do the last couple of minutes of that game, and they did, and they won. So, and I can comment on so many things that I saw in these Olympics, the ups and downs, and shout out to Marie-Josée Toulouse-Smith. I know she got injured in the 100-meter finals. My wife was not too happy about it, but yeah, she also had to pull out the 200. That's another reason why I feel like you want to see the best of the best. My wife was not happy about that at all. She was really vexed about it. But again, but yeah. Another thing I want to address with the Olympics, definitely this is something I want to address, is, Rebecca Andrade winning her first gold medal on the floor. And it's just the intriguing story of it. It just kind of shows, how special the Olympics can be with, you know, the Olympic podium having three young black women grace the stages. And I know there was a little bit of controversy there was a lot of haters, a lot of racism, a lot of racist comments. Simone Biles, of course, everybody knows, one of the greats. Jordan Childs, shout out to her, of course. And Rebecca Andrade, who has gone through a lot, the 25-year-old. She's gone through a lot. If I'm mistaken, correct me. I think it's 2 ACL injuries she's gone through. And to be able to come back and to subsequently put together a performance like that is extraordinary. To even be in the Olympics is extraordinary. So shout out to her, and shout out to Simone and Jordan for showing her the respect and love on the podium. You know, that's what the Olympics is about. It's about class. It's about sharing the moment. It's also understanding that this is, for some, the first and only time they're ever going to be there. So, you know, it's finally that, you know, and I know Simone is taking shots at a lot of the haters, not just because she's a woman, but of course because she's a black woman and she knows. And when the people keep saying, "Oh, it's not a black thing," it is. It is. Some of the comments I read when Jordan Childs and Simone Biles did that graciously fantastic, you know, whatever. What do I want to call it? I don't want to call it whatever. Ceremonious introduction for when Rebecca Andrade got her gold medal was fantastic, and people had some dumbass comments to say, like, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your gore? Like, what the hell planet are you on? Do you not know what the meaning of the Olympics really is? So it was just something for millions to see, and it was beautiful. It was an amazing sight, you know, just to see that, the respect and the love that they give each other. You know, it's not easy to go there and compete in front of millions of people, knowing the scrutiny that you're going to receive from people who don't even want to pick up a weight to stretch. Those are the people that are just running their mouth and talking. The work that these athletes put in, it's incredible. So that definitely was the highlight for me of the Olympics. Although I love my track and I love my rowing. Yes, I do love rowing, folks. Rowing, I think, is tough. If you've ever done rowing, and I've done it, me and my wife have done it, trust me, your shoulders, whew, you feel it after a while. I mean, I remember when we did it and my wife's like, oh my gosh, my shoulders. And it's funny because you could go to the gym and do it, but there's a different type of training for it. So, well, yeah, rowing is nice. But canoeing, rowing, well, whatever you call it. But yeah, but you know what? So far, the Olympics, has it been a great Olympics? For me, it's been whatever. I just feel like I just like what I saw with Simone, Jordan, and Rebecca Andrade at the end, and I hope to see more of that in the future. So it's just going to be what it is. But anyways, enough with the Olympic stuff. Now let's get to some other stuff. And I want to talk about something that, you know, it's been addressed. You know, you have these conversations with people that you know, whether it's basketball stuff or it doesn't matter. Anyways, I want to address the social media factor. I call it the social factor. And when I mean that, it's like you have a lot of people now that are using social media as their identity. It's kind of what sets the tone for them. As they get out of bed to start their day, social media is what sets the tone. They might post something now and expect to get up in the morning and have 200 likes, 300 likes, 1,000 likes, or just a comment, or just the fact that there's attention being drawn to their product or whatever they're doing. Whether you're just a social media person who's got nothing to do, you're a publicist that's got nothing to do, you're a so-called personal trainer, or just somebody that's trying to sell something, or a life coach, a relationship coach, or whatever you want to put yourself as, or whatever your title is. You have to understand that social media is important to an extent, depending on what you are doing. For the most part, it's just a tool. It's just an app. So once you let that become your guide in controlling yourself and your mindset and everything that you do, you're going to run into some major problems, because you're not going to be the flavor of the month or the week or the year or whatever forever, if that's what your goal is. If your goal is to inspire whatever, then fine. But I'm not here to criticize people's work and what they do. But what I am here to say is that you got to understand what you're doing, and you got to let yourself control that and not let that control you. Because in hindsight, you see this a lot. You see a lot of people receiving a lot of nasty comments, that's a whole different conversation. You know, people decide that somebody posts something and they want to run their mouth. Even if you don't like it, shut your mouth and leave it alone. It's not something for you to comment on. And I don't want to hear this thing, oh, well, it's open so I could say whatever. Well, I'll say this to those people. When it comes to your turn and you leave something open like that and somebody replies to you like that, hopefully you're ready for the backlash you're going to get. The delivery of karma is always coming back to you. So be careful what you dish out, and be careful how you deliver it, because there will be a deliverance given to you. So, we see things all the time. Sometimes you're like, oh my God. You don't comment on it. Sometimes you try to look at it and say, you know what, hopefully this person could change their mindset and maybe, but everybody does things differently, but just don't let it control you. And another thing I want to address is, excuse me there, is to the young athletes who are on the cusp of either receiving a scholarship or being scouted now. Your social media is part of your resume, folks. And I'm speaking to the college athletes out there, the young high schoolers about to become post-secondary athletes, whether you're in Canada or the US, doesn't matter. Your social media pages are part of your resume. They're a huge part of your resume. So if you go out there and a scout asks you questions and they are talking about your social media and say, how come this and that? That's on you. So make sure your stuff is ready to go, because they will check. They will scout that stuff, folks. I'm telling you, they will scout that stuff. So keep your social media in order. Keep yourself in order. And be prepared. Continue to train, work on your nutrition. Keep your mental health in order also, and make sure that you keep things that are around you that are positive and eliminate things around you that are negative. So on that note, I think I've spoken enough. Like I told you folks, I'm not into this 1 hour thing. I think usually my 10 to 15 is what I do. I'm almost at 20 minutes. About 18 plus, almost 19 minutes now. But once again, all respect to everybody who's listened to this podcast. Keep listening. There's more to come. There's greater things to come. This is just something that I tried and started, didn't do anything, left it for a while, let it kind of marinate, and then came back and started doing it. And finally, I'm starting to roll a little faster than I was before. I was slow in the beginning, and I can admit there was a lot of laziness on this, but I've picked it up, and I'm happy that I have. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is another edition of the Unscripted Podcast. Season 2 is officially come to an end, and Season 3 is next. Look out for it starting in September. I'm actually going to give it an official date. No, I won't. You'll just see it when it pops up on the podcast. Apple, YouTube, Spotify, and Spotify podcasters. It's coming, folks. Season 3 is coming. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening, day, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It's DJ Briscoe, Unscripted 101. Peace.